If you're seeing this broadcast, you are in a part of the country no longer controlled by the government of the United States.
Boys, I love you both, but I want you to do what I would do. Kill this piece of...
They messed with the wrong family.
How did this happen?
There's a new class of weapon. Everything went offline and never came back. They wipe us out, including U.S. Central Command.
Wolverine, shut the hell up, man. Shit sounded dumb back when it was made. It sounds dumb now. I never saw the original.
Well, then you shut the fuck up.
No, I'm not going to shut the fuck up.
It sounds dumb when you do it, but it sounds cool when C. Thomas Howell did it. Wolverines with the music in the background.
I know a lot of it comes down to, like, you know, where you were at when the original came out.
Yes.
But I was listening to the Dead Kennedys. So when this piece of Reagan, era propaganda came out at the time, I was like,
politics.
All right,
Mr. Cool over here.
All right, it's an okay action film, but come on, let's calm down with all the flag waving over here. This is getting a little out of hand.
No.
And it was a silly action film.
Let us not calm down. In 1984, I mean, every kid who saw this movie, Red Dawn was a big deal to them because it was kids actually like fighting in World War III. It was awesome. No, hey, anytime you have the Russians, at the time, everyone was terrified of the Russians. We all thought that we were going to go up in a big cloud of smoke.
True.
And, and kids back in those days were terrified as shit. So a movie where you basically see the Russians come down on American soil and start blowing up fucking schools, start shooting the shit out of kids in schools, you're like, that's fucked up. I can't let that happen to me. So what are you going to do? You're going to fucking pick up a gun and fight for your life. And that's cool.
But for the rest of us who were not kids, it was like, nice try, but
somewhere
son of a bitches. I'm getting out of this communist. No good.
I remember watching it and going like, yeah, I see what you're going for. And where I was scared of the Russians before, you've shown me how exactly implausible it is that they would come over here and take over.
Every kid who was like, man, we better get a gun because Russians could come any minute. Somewhere an executive, Lockheed Martin, grew their set of wings.
I guess the Russians did win.
When it comes to bad movies, yeah, they did. Now, you know what, man? I can understand what you're saying because you're totally right about that. We have this new Red Dawn right here, which we've chosen what seems to be, and I use this very loosely, a more plausible opposing force. North Korea comes in
for this period of time.
For this period of time, yeah, it was Russia back then. This time it's North Korea. They go in and they attack. What was it? Spokane, Washington, or something here.
Yeah, because that's where like the center of America.
That's where we have all the controls to the military.
I think that's where Amazon is.
Oh, okay.
or Google or what are those big companies? Starbucks.
Area 52 is there.
That's where the Twinkie,
which is just ceramic figures.
That's where the Twinkie factory is. All right.
Yo, you know what? That makes sense. You take out Starbucks. I mean, you do take out most of America. Right?
That's
Shit,
true.
we don't have a coffee. We can't fight you.
You do not want to take away Americans' coffee. Okay, that's a bad idea.
Well, yeah. Once we get past our headaches, then the shit's
But
on.
don't care how liberal you are. You take away that frappuccino, and somebody's going to get fucked up today.
Hey, man, we still got Dunkin' Donuts. Fuck that, man. I can't fight. Get away from me. Now, you know what? I see. In this one, we got North Korea attacking Spokane, Washington for whatever fuck the reason they want to attack Spokane, Washington. But they grab Russia. They say, hey, you want some of this shit? Come on with us. You want
you
to
got
get on
a
this
score to settle, right?
Yeah. We invite you in on this too.
They fucked you up in that first movie.
So in this one, I guess I didn't see the first one. Much like the first film, we have a bunch of kids, except for Chris Hemsworth. Is that his name?
He was off in Asgard fighting the war.
Yeah,
and he comes back as a veteran.
Comes back to Earth. Yeah, he was actually he was in Afghanistan fighting. He comes back.
Oh, I knew I was spelling that wrong.
Asgard is the same thing, man. Yeah, it's very close. I think they're right next to each other on the map too. But yeah, he comes back and he's the one with the leadership skills, the one with the combat experience. Yeah, the Patrick Swayze. Again, I didn't even know Patrick Swayze in that last movie. I forgot about that shit. Was he dancing in that movie too?
That's the only one he did. He doesn't dance.
Okay.
No, he doesn't.
But no, he comes back and he gets together his brother and a bunch of other young people to pick up some weapons and fight for freedom. I don't know. it's kind of silly to me that you get a bunch of kids to pull Home Alone on the North Korean army.
It's really stupid after the post 9/11, everything that's happened after post 9/11, like just the idea of North Korea just flying in.
But see, I agree with you. Back then, we were so fucked up with Russia. We were so paranoid about Russia that, okay, even if it is silly, we had this sense of urgency with even the notion of the Russians attacking in such an asinine way. But with this one, does anybody really look at North Korea that much of a threat right now? We know that we know that they're a force to be fucked with, okay, but we don't think they're really going to attack.
It's when you let your guard down. Yeah, exactly. That's what's going to happen.
Well, it's originally this was apparently supposed to be China in here, and somebody was like, China's a big market for films.
Yeah.
Those motherfuckers love movies.
But in North Korea, they don't buy any of our shit. So we can make fun of them all we want.
Yeah.
Except for Kim Jong-il, but
now, if you ever played the game Homefront, which I did play, and I thought the game was dumb, and I think this is just as dumb with it.
I'll say this about it. I think it's no more or less dumb than the original. I mean, you guys will forgive the original because, you were dumb little kids then and you were paranoid.
Why you looking at me? Why you looking at me? And notice you're the one that ranted about Red Dawn, the original. How long before the review started? He's looking at me now, you dumb, stupid kid.
He actually likes me.
I like the way he takes it and says, you can't do it on you. He takes his aggression out on me.
I'm a robot.
He was just a program back then. He didn't know no better.
Okay. I didn't know any better.
All right, you know what? Print on a circuit board.
All right. But let me sacrifice myself for you then, Cole.
But I feel like with both movies, like the only way you can get through them is to go like, all right, this premise is completely ridiculous, but I've bought ridiculous premises before, so I might as well. If I'm going to sit here, I'm going to accept it. I'm going to go ahead and say yes, I will take this, and then go with it and either enjoy or just ride the movie out for what it is.
And that's my question, because I can do that. I can say, I don't think this could ever happen. I think this is stupid. But I can totally say, all right, that's the where the story is. How does it play out after that?
How it plays out is that Chris Hemsworth, that kid's a star. I mean, even though this movie is bad, there's something about him where he has a charisma and you like him and you follow him. And everybody else, they're just the Nickelodeon stars of the day. Like
because they really are.
Yeah. Like Josh Peck came from that show Drake and Josh, where he was a fat kid for years. So now he's lost a lot of weight. You don't even recognize him anymore.
That's where I saw that guy.
Yeah. It's hard to recognize him, but he's more annoying than anything else.
He's the worst, man. I mean, I guess all that weight loss, I guess
his talent was in the fat.
Yeah, it was all in the fat because there's moments in this movie where this kid's mouth does not fucking close to save his life. You could fly all of North Korea in his fucking mouth because at every scene he's like, he has that face that kind of annoys you because he looks like he's on the verge of crying.
You know what it is? It's a fish gasping for air.
For air.
You took him out of water. The whole movie.
It doesn't help that he's the character who's the most selfish and actually gets people killed by doing dumb shit that like he's told not to do.
I hate movies that even have that character.
Yes.
Yeah, because the movie wants you to all of a sudden get behind the character, and you're like, this guy was an asshole throughout the almost half the entire movie until something happens to where all of a sudden he has to like wake the fuck up from a stupid coma.
See, that's
it. Dr. Smith
to
from
do
Lost
something.
in Space. Fuck that guy.
At least Dr. Smith was funny.
At least he was flamboyant.
You mechanical monstrosity.
Oh no! Just overacting. Oh no! If we had that character,
That would have been
It would have been a tolerable film.
That hurts in my ears.
Cantankerous Korean.
Silly boy.
Come with me, boys. We're going back into the closet.
And you got Tom Cruise's kid, one of his kids in here.
Oh, the one, the black
kid.
One.
And Josh.
Connor Cruz is Tom Cruise.
Connor Cruz, and a kid from the Hunger Games. I don't know. I'm forgetting.
Josh Hutcherson.
Josh Hutcherson.
It's interesting because this movie was actually made. I think it was originally supposed to be released around 2010, early 2011. So it's been on the shelf for a while because MGM at the time, it was their movie, and then when they went into bankruptcy, this movie ended up sitting on the shelf. Yeah. So it is you watching it. You can kind of tell because you can tell these kids, obviously, some of these kids, their career hasn't really gone anywhere, and you start to understand why after watching the movie because they are they're so painful to watch on the screen because you realize like. During all the whole North Korea taking over, people are dying. People they care about are dying. there's no emotion in this movie whatsoever
not a
about,
whole lot.
and there's no consequence when it comes to this movie. That's what killed me, because I am a fan of the original. And sure, the premise is stupid, but the thing is, the characters, things that happen to their family in the movie, things that happen to their friends, there was a real sense of urgency. There was a sense of loss. And this movie had absolutely none of that.
And I think a part of the reason for that is they quickly go into montage mode. It's like okay, there's some deaths to motivate them, and they're like, all right, then we got to get together, and it goes quickly into a montage to where it feels like, a week later they're trained commandos, doing guerrilla warfare.
They're doing expendable shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, guys, you can't do that. You know what? It's something you brought up with talking about Josh Hutcherson. It's hard to say,
and there's two of them in here.
yeah. But it's like he's such a minor character in this. Where right now that kid's like he's prominent. He's big. He's a lead in Hunger Games. Mm-hmm. But in this movie, you'd never know that he was going to take off
because it was shelved for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why. And look, I agree with you. Yeah, you can buy ludicrous shit if they make it believable or if they make you emotionally invested in it.
Yeah.
Besides, and I agree with you again, Chris Hemsworth. Yeah, that guy he has a presence when he's on screen.
Yeah,
I mean, the guys.
You can sell ice to Eskimos,
pretty much.
I had to watch what I say because now it's going to sound like I have another man crush. I'm going to say,
we've all admitted to having a man crush.
Don't you remember? Once you go back and listen to our Thor review,
we're all about Thor.
He's strong. He got a big penis. He's shiny.
Did he take his shirt off?
Got a shiny hammer.
Ooh, he's such a leader.
Beautiful hair. Did I mention his hair?
I love the way he glistens.
Yeah, I'm been fanning myself with a pillow right now.
I do declare.
I'm having a bit of a heat flash.
I think
he's gorgeous.
Vapors. But no, man. The guy. He's. But the thing is, he's the only one that seems like a developed character in here.
Yeah.
Everybody else, they're either annoying or they're a non-character, or they're a prop, or they're just somebody to get killed.
You're waiting for half of them to die.
Yeah,
and you're right. I mean, they go out there, they train real quick in the most unbelievable way. Then they get out there and start fighting, and then all this training, all this camaraderie, and this montage you have is for nothing later on.
I know we're outnumbered and we're outgunned. That doesn't mean we can't make a difference. So it's up to us to let people know that there is a fight on, a fight that we need them to join. Most of those soldiers down there, they don't want to be here. So we have to make it too hard and too difficult and too bloody for them to stay. When I was overseas, we were the good guys. We enforced order. Well, now, we're the bad guys. And we create chaos.
And even later on, they get mad at each other for stupid things. They actually all annoyed me. They annoyed the shit out of me.
Let me ask you this, somebody who didn't, though, the one of you who didn't see it. Does any of the action play out in a good way? I mean, is it filmed well? Is it exciting to watch?
That's the thing. It's probably the reason why I didn't walk away hating the movie, because there's some action things here and there that I thought, you know what, that was effective or that was done well. I mean, it'd be followed up by something where it's like,
it's just okay because once again, you're dealing with characters you don't care about. So those action scenes when shit's happening, even when a few of them die, you're like, okay, so what? Because the thing is, the movie is moving so goddamn fast. The movie's almost like trying to finish up its own story just to be done with.
Yeah,
that's how you felt.
And see, the problem with that, again, has something to do with development on the villain side. They have a Korean general come in. The guy's not really that ominous or threatening.
Not
I didn't
at
think
all.
so. I didn't. He seemed like a guy in a general costume. He looked like an actor.
He looked like he was a guy in a Halloween costume.
Yeah, exactly. It looked like, man, I don't even believe that guy's from Korea. You know what I mean?
Well, the fact that everyone spoke English.
Yeah, I got probably from Texas and talk like this. You know, but and I never could get a scope of how much they had came down and conquered the country. Like, is it because if they just went in and occupied Spokane, Washington, then that's unbelievable because the rest of the country would just be on that shit. They would nuke that place.
And they had an explanation for it.
Oh, they did?
It was,
what
was
it?
A flimsy, that they had a box that was pretty much an EMP that they were able to take out.
But see, that's the thing. I know that they did that, but they never gave you the scope of what was going around in the rest of the country.
Well, they mentioned it. There's a point where they mentioned like they had hit almost everywhere else, and they were so strategic that they knocked out.
Yeah, they came in, took out our electricity, our communication was down.
It's something they stole from S.H.I.E.L.D. and, it got unleashed.
Actually, it's something they stole from Homefront.
Well,
Yeah.
it felt more like an alien invasion. Like there was points I thought y'all should have just made this aliens.
I know. I was like, that's the only way.
District
And
9.
when I read that they were going to do this remake, I'm like, that's the only way you can really sell this
Yeah.
premise now.
Right.
It has to be fucking aliens. Teenagers fighting an alien threat. Well,
Yeah.
sure, it's already been done, but hey, fuck But the thing is, like, and I hate having to go back to the original. But I mean, that's where I can give the original credit, is that they did make you feel like, because in the original it was like the beginning of World War III.
Yeah.
And there was enough characters explaining what was going on in certain parts of the country to give you the idea, like, oh, this is happening everywhere. It's just not in this small town. It's not isolated. It's happening in a lot of places. And just the way these actors, were telling these kids, like, this is what's going on here. You really did feel that sense of, man, this is it. This is the beginning of World War III. In this movie, you don't get any of that. Because, you were wondering, this feels so isolated. Because it seems like everyone who's supposed to be important to this war is all located in this small fucking town. It made no sense.
Some communicating on radio with other states or other cities nearby, something. The movie, and you're right, the movie's kind of short, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
very
Oh,
short.
yeah. No,
that's the thing. You blink and it's over.
That's the other thing. It's not until the end that you get, okay, these kids are part of a bigger movement, but I'm still, man, what?
And so it's like, even if they win, they're attacking the force that landed in Spokane, Washington.
Yeah.
Except they're like, what the fuck happened in Spokane? And they just, and the big Monty Python boot goes, steps on them.
And before I forget, my biggest and ultimate complaint about this is how it makes the U.S. military seem so stupid and insignificant. I mean, where they were just like, oh, they're too busy in Afghanistan to come and fight right now. And you're like,
That actually was a slap in the face.
really?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
You think for a film that like ultimately was supposed to be about like, stirring up the eagles among us would be very pro our military.
Well,
yeah.
that's the thing. This film felt like it was a small film that would have been forgettable, and happened to get these kids who are like, who the fuck cares? And it's like, oh wow, people know who they are, or their careers took off, and now Chris Hemsworth is in Thor, and he's in the Avengers. We got to put this out. So no real thought or planning went into it. It was almost like a throwaway that somehow they decided to push out there.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's like pushing somebody out on stage who isn't prepared, who's not ready to be out there, but you just need to fill that time.
the only one who's happy is that fucking Sam Peck kid, or whatever his name is from the Nickelodeon show. He's
Josh Peck.
Yeah, Josh Peck. He's the only. He's been waiting for this fucking movie to come out for 4 years.
That peckerhead kid.
Yeah, that Peck. Yeah, I mean, he's. I could see that poor kid just go. This movie was supposed to change my life.
I know. Everybody get to see I'm not the fat kid anymore. Don't you understand?
I know. I'm a hero. I'm running around with a machine gun. Look, that's me.
What you think of me in that? I don't know, dude. I kind of hated you in that movie. Your character
Should never
sucked.
lost the weight, man. You were on a roll back then.
Face just drooping off.
I know. It was melting off.
God damn, boy. Only thing saving you from looking like an old man is your hair, right? Motherfucker, just a few. Wait, who's that asshole? That's not. Why am I calling him an asshole? Who's that? Agent K or Agent J, whatever.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, he's just a few folds away from being Tommy Lee Jones.
I think it's a piece of his face that fell off that grew arms and legs in an acting career.
Hey man,
You're so mean.
hey Leon. I'll give it to you. There were some action scenes in here that seemed like that's where all their money went.
Yeah.
As if we got to cut this production short because we blew up a bus. So cut. But other than that, man, this is dull to me. It's dull, and it's just, and there's not enough good things in there to cover how dumb this story is. I'm giving this a low rental. I mean, I want to give it some bullshit almost, but I'm just trying to be nice for the action scenes that I saw. I wasn't even all that bored. I was looking at this in amazement the whole time. Like, wow, you want me to buy this shit? Fuck, you ain't got to worry about North Korea attacking. I look at this movie and say, don't even waste our fucking time, man. This is nonsense. I'm done.
I'm not looking to be nice, but at the same time, I didn't hate it. I mean, yeah, it's almost like there's a point where I just went like, yeah, it's got this dumb stuff and annoying characters. I might as well get over it and sit here and just try to get what I can out of it. And somewhere in the second half, after the montage, I was used to the annoying parts. I was like saying, like, you know what? There's some action things going on here, or as much as I hate to admit, I want to see how this is going to play out. It's disappointing where it ends up going, but that's another issue. It just wasn't enough for me to walk away going like, man, fuck that. I was just like, whatever. It's a low rental.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I am going to say, hey, fuck that. I'm not going to give it a fuck you, but I mean, I will give it some old bullshit because I mean, it really was some old bullshit.
Fair enough.
I mean, as a director, especially with something like this, I mean, you need to be aware of what's going on in your script, how characters should react to, people close to them dying. I mean, that simple logic when filming something should get across to the director and to the audience. That's what makes your stupid premise not that stupid. So I mean, yeah, the idea alone, yeah, I try to just let that pass because I know a lot of people are like, oh come on, of course, guys, of course the premise stuff. But what did you think about the actual movie, the meat of it?
That is what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I know.
Damn it.
Yeah, it is, and it's stupid. It's ridiculous. The characters suck. You don't care about anyone. The threat is not that much of a threat at all. I mean, they don't have a good villain in here to save their lives, and it just makes the original look that much more of a masterpiece to me. So when you can't even in this day and age, especially with the technology you have, with decent writers you have these days, that you don't even attempt to try to make an interesting movie, it just becomes the 3-letter word unnecessary fucking remake, and I'm sick of them, and I hate it when they take my properties and destroy them. So
they're destroying your childhood.
Some old bullshit. I never had a childhood, by the way.
It's like these Hollywood guys writing these films are invading your home country.
You were invading my ass with this bullshit.
Well, you and your friends can stop them.
You seriously have me almost wanting to go to your side because I mean, as much as I'm not a fan of the original. The kids who are in it, the actors, they did sell it.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it, I'm giving them some bullshit, some old bullshit. I realize I'm just trying to be nice, man.
Because I'm glad you came over to my side. You left the Reds and you came over. Yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to be nice. The screenwriter Kevin Reynolds, that's a homeboy of mine. He's from Waco.
Really?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep that Waco connection up. Yeah, seriously.
Oh no shit!
Guy directed. He directed Waterworld and Robin Hood and all that kind of stuff.
Oh well, that explains everything.
I'm sorry. Write me down for some old bullshit too.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Nice slice of some old bullshit for you, Leon, right here. Yeah.
So it's all bullshit.
All around bullshit.
Yeah.
This old
nice
fucking ass film, man.
We inherited our freedom. Now it's up to all of us to fight for it. For them, this is just some place. For us, this is our home.